Things I see on the internet that piss me off. Articles like this, from kissing to crowds, why pre-pandemic TV and movie scenes now seem so jarring. Really? You're that weak that you can't handle watching something from the past, not even a year ago, without being like, they're too close to each other, I'm freaking out. And you know where this comes from? There was a time when people really were trying to be quirky cute, and now people are trying to be quirky anxious. It's like, stop. Okay, whatever this narrative is that you're trying to push, I know you don't really feel like that. You only feel like that because you want others to have this conversation of how weird the now is. Just talk about the now. You don't need to bring it up in a weird way where it's like, I just can't handle watching party scenes in movies now. It just freaks me out. Shut up. Like this whole random fact about this guy who bought a lifetime ticket from American Airlines and it ended up costing him $21 million. Why? Did he demand to fly only by himself? You know, did you not fill up the rest of the seats? Did it require more fuel for him? How did it cost you $21 million? It didn't. That's one of those weird facts where people are like, this is what we could have made if we had sold this seat at the highest price possible every time he flew. But it really didn't cost you anything. It just cost you a seat. And I'm tired of businesses that like to spin these types of totals and make it seem like we were really hurting. No, you weren't. You created this number, all right? Stop. Speaking of created numbers, the idea that antimatter would cost 62 trillion, but the world only has 88 trillion. Oh, and really, who are we buying this from? Ourselves? If there was no such thing as currency, do you realize that we would have antimatter just in abundance? If everybody decided, well, you know what? This entire idea of the economy and money, really, we created it. So if we just got rid of that idea, well, then we could just create all the antimatter and all of the cures that we wanted and be able to constantly fly to space. But we're doing this to ourselves. Stop. This one, I have no problem with. This is absolutely true. If somebody offers to make you a grilled cheese sandwich, it really is that they care about you a lot. Because the grilled cheese sandwich is like so easy to make that it doesn't need to be made. And the fact that they're like, this isn't even a necessary thing to make, but I'm making it for you, that means I care about you that much. Very true. Keep going. And like, this attitude upsets me. You can go to the moon and back for someone and they'll have the audacity to say, I never asked you to though. But that's the reality of it. If they didn't ask you to do it, then why did you do it? Oh, because you wanted a favor back? You wanted something back, obviously, so that's why you did it. But there was no deal in play. That's all on you. That's the reality of the situation. Nobody owes you anything, even when you do something for them. That's just how it is. Now, if somebody returns the favor, thank you. But if they don't return the favor, well, I'm sorry. That's life. That's not the audacity. That is the reality, okay? So stop with this. Oh, they didn't give me something in return. Sorry. Deal with it. Don't do a favor for them ever again. And then there's this narrative. Real shit. I've never met someone who's scared of losing me. What are you, the Great Coral Reef? Like, how important are you to this entire world? And you're going into relationships and friendships hoping that one day they're going to lose you and miss you? Like, that's so sad that that's the emotion that you want to bring out of people. Why don't you bring out happiness and joy? And honestly, you just need to stop living your life based on other people's emotions towards you. Just stop. Oh, and guys, can we stop doing this, trying to be cute and sexy and hurt all at the same time in videos? Oh no, look at me, my hair. And honestly, I probably did it myself, but let's stop. And then there's celebrity quotes that we don't even know if they're real. Jim Carrey once said, just because you lost me as a friend doesn't mean you gained me as an enemy. I'm bigger than that. I still want to see you eat, just not at my table. Did Jim say it? Or did Tupac say it? because I've seen other memes saying that Tupac said it. And the way that I can make sense of this is that Jim did write Tupac letters in jail. So maybe Jim did say it and Tupac was very influenced. Maybe Jim is the one that said revenge is as sweet as joy next to getting pussy. I guess the world will never know. And then there's this narrative where it's like, take the sex away and you'll realize that not many individuals have much to offer. This generation is so this generation, that's all of humanity. Your generation is no different than any other generation. Do you think at some point that love was equal across all the world and then your generation is the one that's getting it all messed up? No. There was people that were in forced marriages that couldn't divorce people. There was a king that continued to have his wives' heads cut off because they wouldn't give him a son. Like, just stop with this, oh, we're so pressed. You're not. That's just life. And then there's this. This girl had the entire B movie printed up on a shirt and a waitress complimented, and then she's like, it took everything in me to not explain that it was just the entirety of the B-movie script printed really small. Well, then why did you make the shirt if you didn't want to explain it to other people? Like, you're a liar. You made that specifically so you could tell other people that this is just the B-movie script. Stop lying, okay? Nobody just does that for themselves. Stop. And finally, I would like to say this to all the boomers out there. Stop making memes that destroy Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown would never say this about the new generation. And honestly, you know what happened to the younger generation? You guys did. You guys are the ones that raised their parents, that just fucking terrorized their parents to where their parents are like, we better give you a helmet and everything, you know, because my mom and dad raised me like crazy. It was you that spilled over to your kids, that spilled over to these kids. So stop blaming the younger generation for giving a shit about themselves. It's so stupid, okay, boomers? And stop ruining Charlie Brown and every other classic character that exists for your own stupid boomer narrative. So there you go. There's some of the things that piss me off about the internet. And there's going to be plenty more because, guys, I'm addicted to being pissed off at the internet.